Buenas chavales, aquí un nuevo vídeo de NBA 2K14 en Play 3. Estamos en el tercer capítulo del modo Mi Jugador, en el que nos enfrentaremos, al igual que en el capítulo anterior, contra los Washington Wizards de John Wall. Recordemos que en el anterior capítulo conseguimos una victoria cómoda y conseguimos hacer un buen partido. Veremos qué pasa en este y nos vemos en el próximo vídeo. Hasta luego.
Waking up to ash and dust. I wipe my brow and I sweat my rust. I'm breaking in, shaping up. Then it's a revolution, I suppose. This is it.
Welcome to the Palace of Auburn Hills. We are in suburban Detroit, the home of the Pistons, where we'll be broadcasting today's game live. And now a quick check of our starting lineups for both teams. And breaking down the game, right now let's take a look here at Maverick.
Well, when you think about instant offense, his name comes to mind immediately. Doesn't take much for him to get it going and run off a string of buckets.
And Steve, it's also really remarkable what a solid shooter he is, even in the presence of tough, sticky defense. He smoothly and calmly executes.
Coming in off the road, the Pistons are back in Detroit for this game, winning their last 3 games. They'd like to make that 4 in a row here tonight.
And you know what they've been doing lately is one of the most impressive things we've seen in the NBA season so far. Hard to think of any team that's played better during this current winning streak.
And Steve, I don't think there's any end in sight. I mean, with the attitude they're bringing onto the court every night, and that belief and confidence they have in themselves, it's going to take something very special and committed to beat them.
Here is Wall. After the made shot from Jimenez, Harrington for 3. Rebound by Nene. For the Washington Wizards, they come in off the loss to the Detroit Pistons.
And guys, had their free throw shooting been anywhere near up to par, I think it would have changed everything in that game.
No doubt about it. I mean, there is a carryover effect when you're not having success at the line. Infiltrates other parts of your game. Well, it was an ugly start to the season for the Wizards. Tried to revamp by trading for a host of veterans, but out of the gate, times were tough as they lost their first 12. Eventually got things turned around and were more dangerous when John Wall got healthy.
3 out of 4 from the floor, so a good start for this club.
Outside, Phillips. Pass to Okafor. Nene on him. Puts up the baby hook to stop the run, and he lays it up and in. Okafor's got his second bucket of the night.
Boy, where was the box out? Too easy on that second chance opportunity.
Yeah, no box out is what happened there. Those kind of mistakes in the play will kill a team.
The difference for the Wizards after Wall came back, as you said, was just day and night. They were so much more energized and seemed to relish the role of playing the spoiler for a lot of teams, Steve, down the stretch.
Yeah, they looked like a playoff team by the end of the year, and that's the challenge this season. As we watch this club play it out, I mean, can they stay healthy? Can they continue that hot run that they had at the end of last year? And can that carry over into this one?
And the basket by Harrington.
That's like a layup for him. He's just wide open out there.
And for Detroit, they come in off a good outing against the Wizards in Washington.
And I think, Kevin, you know, they really showed how important it is to have a strong bench performance. You go out on the road, you can't rely on your starters night in and night out. The reserves have to contribute and help them out.
I think we definitely saw that, Steve, throughout the game. They were really tied together as a team. Didn't make any difference who was out on the floor. You'll take every road game win you can, and they're happy with that one.
Jennings for 3, and that one's good. Jennings has got 5 points so far.
The defenders need to talk to each other. The communication lacking there on that three-pointer.
Outside, Wall. Pass to Okafor. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
You know, guys, Emeka Okafor was the number 2 overall pick out of Connecticut back in 2000.
With the All-Star game almost near, let's see how the East is shaking out. Taking a look at Washington. They're 7th right now. Not a bad spot, but certainly they'd like to string together a run of wins. And, of course, the Detroit Pistons, 4.5 games behind.
Well, I think for Washington, the thing with them is they haven't really established an identity for themselves as a team. They never have seemed to come up with a plan and stick to it for very long. They've been all over the place in terms of their identity.
And I put that on the coaching staff more than anyone else, Clark. A coherent strategy has to be in place, or it's impossible to climb up the standards.
So on the floor for Washington. All out. And a closer look here at the hustle stats for the Pistons.
They come out in attack mode defensively, applying pressure and stealing the ball repeatedly.
You know, they've also shown some real tenacity here early on tonight, and it's paid off with a lot of second chance points.
So it's Detroit now, following the miss by John Wall. Jennings passes to Jimenez. That falls. Great assist by Brandon Jennings. Jennings has got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. And Wall gets to Ariza. He dishes it to Harrington. Back to Ariza. They need this. That's good. Second quarter, and we're just over a minute in. Jennings kicks to Smith. Get the shot. Again, the Pistons score. Wizards trail by 11. Outside, Wall. Clock at 6. Rebound, Detroit. They went to Washington for their last meeting with the Wizards, and they came out with a win.
Yeah, they really had their number in that game. Big margin of victory for them. They got there by really including their bench. The depth became a major factor. They just wore them down.
Here's Wall after the main shot from Jimenez. The 3 from Billups cannot hit. The Pistons go the other way with it. Next up on the schedule, the Grizzlies. That'll be a home game, and that game is the second of 2 straight at home.
Yeah, you know the fans out in Memphis really hoping their team can win that one.
Talk about being on his game. Look at the numbers for Maverick. He has 12 points. He's done a little bit of work behind the arc. He's got a pair of 3-pointers.
Well, the defenders have that in the back of their minds now, too, so they're going to close out on him quicker. That should allow him to use the drive if he wants.
Trevor Booker, he's checked in now for Washington. What Steve just talked about regarding how much they spread their scoring around was probably the most striking thing about that big win.
And the fact that they did have such a huge lead allowed them to even use their bench a little more than normal, and that was something that served them well.
Now here's Wall. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Second quarter of play with almost 3 minutes gone. Jennings passes to Jimenez. Nice ball movement by Detroit. And here's Jennings. He's got 7. Jimenez covered by Wall. The shot's good from Jimenez. Average got 17.
You know, he's putting on an outstanding offensive display, and he may just be getting it.
This is it to Jimenez. The dish to Monroe. The pass to Jimenez. Back to Monroe. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there. And the Pistons' long rebuild has hurt attendance. There's no doubt about that. It's dropped over 20% over the last decade, down around 67% last season. Steve, last in the NBA.
Well, of course, the city has also been hit hard by the economy, Kevin, and that has played a role. But no question, the Pistons' struggles have led to the attendance dropping. Hopefully this team, with the good young talent they put together, can get things turned around and get these fans back.
Wizards trailed by 17. Dishes it to Temple. And there's the feed to Seraphin.
Kevin Seraphin, big solid frame, about 6'9", but he's got a 7'3" wingspan, so he's already shown a lot of promise as a defender.
This is his first chance at the line tonight.
Well, he's become one of the most dependable free throw shooters around, about 82% on the year.
He's been a completely different guy at the line this season. I mean, last year, you weren't sure what you were going to get when he got to the stripe. And there's no way we could have expected such a huge increase in those free throw percentage numbers.
He feeds it to Uredko. He passes to Stuckey. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And the shot is long. Oh, back to Serafin. Not just a defensive presence, he's got a nice soft touch offensive.
Yeah, you can hit with that hook shot, step out to mid-range. Still developing, but there's a lot to like about this young big man.
29 seconds left now here in the second. Pass to Jimenez. Stuckey. There's the pick. Pass to Siva. Here's Maverick. Shot clock at 6. Nene with the screen on Porter. And the defense didn't have position. They whistle a blocking foul, and he'll go to the line. They get Al Harrington. The Pistons shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game.
Well, the season numbers for this club really low. I mean, this is something that the team has been focusing on. They've got to improve.
You know, they've really put themselves behind the 8 ball in so many of their games because they just have not been able to knock down those foul shots.
And that concludes the first half. Pistons lead by 15. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from the Palace.
Now, presented by Sprint. Let's get into the Sprint halftime report, presented by Sprint.
Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters. It's been one outstanding game for Maverick.
Boy, he put on a show from the three-point line in the first half, didn't he? We'll see if the halftime break had any cooling effect on him.
Yeah, we'll soon find out because I guarantee they're going to keep feeding it to him behind the arc until he does cool off.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the second half of basketball. And Detroit looking at who they Jimenez in its small forward. Nene is out there at Greg Monroe. And there's Rodney Stuckey. And it's Jennings in at the 1. And let's now go to the sideline. We'll catch up here with Doris Burke. Doris?
Guys, Otto Porter comes from a basketball family. He wore his mom's jersey number growing up, then switched to his father's number 35 upon being drafted. And he kept it in the family in one other way. He never played in the AAU system and just worked out against his own family. A family, and it's worked out for him, guys.
Yeah, Doris, a versatile defender and a smart role player. He's been a very nice addition.
Last season, a hard one for Stuckey. Pistons finally shifted him back to his natural shooting guard position. A lot of people thought he would break out, but instead, he had his lowest field goal percentage and scoring average since his rookie season.
Little over a minute gone here in the second half. Outside, Billups. Kicks to Harrington. Feeds the wall. Some solid defense there by Nene. And towards the end of last season, Rodney Stuckey finally seemed to get untrapped.
Well, I tell you, early in his career, I really liked his potential. He's got tremendous talent. He's a strong slasher who can get to the line. Those are the kind of players who can usually be relied upon to produce buckets. We'll see how he bounces back.
Well, it's no secret why Trevor Ariza can rack up a lot of steals. He's got great foot speed, big wingspan, and the anticipation to cover ground and pick off lazy passes that come in his direction.
He really does have arms that can extend out on command. You hate playing against guys like Ariza because passing lanes that seem open close up in a hurry. Caldwell Pope, he's checked in for Detroit.
Getting road wins was one of the biggest struggles for the Wizards last season. Started out slow, and even after Wall came back from injury, they still weren't exactly taking care of business on the road.
Jennings against Wall. Kicks it out to Ariza. Rebound, Detroit. Mavericks got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Well, Clark, back to the Wizards on the road. You mentioned their slow start, but just to illustrate how bad it was for them. It wasn't until mid-December that they got their first road win. Steve, they lost their first 8 to start the year away from Washington.
That was a shame, too, because that start took them out of playoff consideration. And they ended up playing really well down the stretch. But, at the end of the season, they were actually okay on the road, and they were pretty competitive, in fact.
Wall hits the target from 18 feet. Wall's got his 3rd bucket of the night. Pistons leading by 15. Passes it to Jimenez. Detroit, no good that time either. The Wizards have gone 2 of 5 shooting here in the 3rd quarter. Phillips dishes to Singleton. Brandon Jennings with the rebound. Jennings has got his 3rd rebound tonight. There's the pass to Jimenez. It's back to Jennings. Jennings off a pick from Jimenez. Offensive rebound. And terrific work on the offensive glass when he picks up 2. And that's now 6 points for Craig Monroe. It's Wall with the drive. Kicks it out to Ariza. And that comes off the assist by John Wall. And that's 10 points for Ariza.
Their three-point percentage has taken a big leap up since the start of the second half. They're starting to find the range.
Steve, the lasers are starting to do their thing. That's going to be the ticket for them the rest of the way.
Wizards making a switch here. Porter's checked in.
Shaky defense down low again. It's been a mismatch in the paint.
I'm sure they didn't go into this one expecting to get battered like they have inside.
And Wall kicks to Porter. Battier on him. Battier comes with the double team. Here's Caldwell Pope. Ariza covering. Smith. And the layup's good off the glass. Smith's got 4 points this quarter. And taking a quick look here, guys, at the hustle stats for the Pistons.
Boy, defensively, they've played with a high energy level, guys, and all the steals we've seen, really a result of that aggressiveness.
Something that's also benefited them tonight are the turnovers they've forced and the points that have come along with those forced turnovers.
Great-looking bounce pass to set up that play.
Pistons leading by 16.
Now you look at Otto Porter, 6'8", out of Georgetown, almost a 7'2" wingspan, which has led a lot of people to compare him to Tayshaun Prince. Has a lot of versatility to his game. It's going to be interesting to watch his career unfold.
He kicks it to Wall. He dishes it to Okafor. 5 on the clock. Gets it to go. Okafor's got 6.
They're not as aggressive from the outside here, but maybe they should think about stretching the defense a little bit, like they did in the first half. I mean, stretching the defense makes it easier to score inside, too.
Wizards trail by 14. And Steve, you mentioned Porter's great IQ for the game. He kind of sidestepped the amateur athletic touring scene.
And I think a lot of NBA teams can appreciate that, Kevin. A guy who brings character, toughness, and the intangible to complement a very well-rounded skill set. That's an intriguing talent and one built for success, I think.
Jennings passes to Jimenez. Detroit, no good that time either.
Couldn't get that three-pointer to fall. Trying to respond.
Just 2 seconds between shot clock and game clock. Beal with it, and Jennings picks him up defensively. Wall dishes to Okafor. No good there, and that would have cut it to single digits. Here's Maverick. There's Jennings with the 3. Oh, he knocks it in, a beautiful buzzer beater.
Just in time. That really could be a...
Tune in Sunday, January 5th. Michael Conley and the Memphis Grizzlies take on the...
Welcome back as we get ready to start the 4th quarter. Not exactly a nail-biter here, but you never know.
When you think of the Detroit Pistons, you always think back to some of the big powerhouse championship teams of the late 80s or early 2000s when they won titles as well. They've always been a team to contend with, but fans are being put through a pretty good test here as they rebuild.
Taking a look at the Wizards. Chauncey Billups out there with Maynard. Then it's Trevor Ariza. Then it's Okafor. And it's Harrington in at the power forward. Detroit leading by 14. Here's Jennings, and he gets it to go from the corner. Jennings has got the first points up on the board here in the fourth for the Pistons. The Wizards shooting with confidence, 50% from the field so far. Another season for Detroit and another year that their fans would like to forget. Steve, they were one of the younger teams in the league last season, and you can expect a team so young to take some lumps.
Oh, for sure. But there's some good young talent. Monroe, Drummond, of course, they signed Josh Smith. And this is a team that has plenty of ability, and they're trying to put it together now this year.
1 minute now into this fourth quarter. Maynard kicks to Billups. Now here's Ariza. Defense is right there. Gets it to go.
He got a little room at the rim and laid it in. Great play.
Jimenez, the pass to Nene. Oh, went in there and tried to power it down, but drew contact. He'll head to the line.
Losing 12 straight to start the season for the Wizards, just ominous, and through 20 games, the worst start in franchise history. But once they got back to health, they showed they could compete with anybody.
John Wall's checked in for the Wizards. And so Nene nails both of them. When you start out like the Wizards did last year, it's easy to get down on yourself and give up on the season. But you know what, Steve? They showed a lot of fight and never bowed their head.
Got to give a lot of credit to Randy Whitman for keeping the ship afloat after that tough start. And I like the fact that they added some veteran guys a season ago that I think added to the character of this team. But it's an interesting group, no doubt. You know, it's been interesting to see how Chauncey Billups' career has changed as he's grown. Early on, he was known more as an offensive point guard, and then he became a playmaker for the Pistons during that championship season in that era. And now he's really become a spot-up shooter and a dead-eye marksman for his club.
And that's not to say that he can't do anything else, but he has really stepped up his shooting from deep. Not a lot of guards can go from carrying the ball-handling duties to being a catch-and-shoot guy, but Chauncey has made the transition quite smooth.
Here's Monroe. Hits it from about 6 feet away. And the Pistons lead by 18.
I like the way they're working the ball inside, because when you do that, you get higher percentage shots, and typically good things happen.
Outside, Billups. That doesn't go either for Billups.
It's been a great day for them on the boards, Clark. It's definitely been a major factor in building this big lead.
And, you know, from a number standpoint, the advantage might not be that large, but they have been manhandling them inside.
Pistons passing it around. Another three for Detroit.
And it looks to me like he still has some of the shooting touch that he displayed in the first.
Here is Wall. Fourth quarter of play, and we're about 2.5 minutes through it right now. From downtown. That doesn't go either for Billups.
He's given them little to nothing at the offensive end. I can't put it any other way.
The dish now to Monroe. There's the feed to Jennings. There's a good screen. Webster outside. That ball's great assist by Brandon Jennings. Jennings has got his 8th assist here tonight. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession. Chance now to check out the Washington Wizards' upcoming schedule. Following this one, they get to host the Mavericks. And that's the first game in a string of 3 straight at home.
And you know, that Golden State game, guys, has a lot of attention on it.
Kyle Singler's checked in for Detroit. Jennings against Ariza. And it's out of bounds. The Wizards will take it the other way. And here's what the Detroit Pistons schedule looks like. Next up on the schedule, the Grizzlies. That'll be a home game. That'll be the latter half of this 2-game homestand. We're in the final quarter of play here, 3 minutes in. Washington's gone 0-3 so far in the fourth quarter from long range. Oh, he launched that one from way outside. Billups has got 5 points now this quarter.
Boy, he found the perfect spot behind the arc there. Big gap in the defense.
Jennings passes to Jimenez. Dishes it to Singler. Singler gets a screen from Jimenez. 6 to shoot. He feeds it to Monroe. It's stolen by Harrington. And there's the call on Maverick. That's his first foul. And stolen by Singler.
Well, that was a superb read defensively. He jumped right into the passing lane the instant the ball left the passer's hand.
Here's Monroe. Cannot hit. Wall with some nice defense. Wizards trailed by 21. Boom, he jams it straight down.
Boy, he is a strong finisher on the fast break. Yeah, he sure is. He remains in total control, even at full speed. I love that about him.
The Pistons have gone 5 of 6 from the field to start the fourth quarter on a roll. Here's Jimenez. Gets the bucket. Mavericks got 24.
Took advantage of some shoddy defense there. They've got to at least get a finger on it.
Singler against Phillips. And stolen by Singler. And now the Pistons fast break. Jennings passes to Jimenez. Three-pointer. Now Harrington grabs the board. Harrington's got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one. Okafor sets the pick for Wall. Back to Harrington. Pass to Wall. Kicks it to Harrington. No good on the triple.
Boy, with an open look like that, he is so gifted. Man, you've got to play better defense. Eventually, he's going to make you pay.
You got that right. I mean, he'll do it from three-point land or anywhere on the perimeter, really, because he is a deadly shooter. You've got to do a better job defensively.
6 on the shot clock. A 3-ball. They get it back. Here's Nene. Singler outside. Jimenez. Outside Jennings. Passes it to Jimenez. Moves back up. Rebound by John Wall. Wizards have gotten just under 45% of their attempts to drop in the fourth 4 of 9.
The one-hand slam is so sweet when it's his hand doing the slam.
Oh, yeah, he is so smooth, even on a power finish like that.
Yeah, that's part of what makes him unique, that combination of power and polish.
Looking at who's out there now for the Wizards. Kevin Seraphin, he's checked in for Okafor. Trevor Booker comes in for Al Harrington. And it's Chris Singleton in for Trevor Ariza. Washington's gone into a funk from downtown in the fourth. Only one of their 5 3-pointers has found the bottom of the bucket. Maynard. The finger roll finish at the bucket.
Boy, if they could have had this kind of run earlier in the game, it might have made a big difference.
You know, I think a big reason behind the run, Steve, is that they're not getting pressured as much by the defense now that the game's all but finished.
Now the pass to Jimenez. And blocked. And so it's the Pistons taking care of business here. Some days, Clark.
It's been a ride.
You were an absolute beast on the defensive end tonight, and that was a big reason your team was able to come away with the win. How does it feel to see your defensive effort have such a positive impact on the outcome of this game?